everybody, it's the Maurice Brown Show Sports Edition, playing a little pitch and catch with my nephew, Caleb.
Hey, guys.
He's the next Jerry Rice. Want to show him?
Yeah,
Let's
do
go.
it.
You're going to love this. Ready, set, go! Let's start the show.
Hey you guys, I'm Venus Monique from the hit crime drama Vindication, and you guys should definitely make sure you're catching the Maurice Brown Show on Roku TV.
Yeah, hello everybody, and welcome to the Maurice Brown Show with my good buddy Stu, Antoine, real Stewart on the Maurice Brown Show as we break down games from last week's wild card weekend in the NFL. Stu, what did you think about the final results? By the way, how you doing, Stu?
I'm doing well, Mo. How you doing, man?
I am doing great, man. I tell you, I can't wait to dive into the final results from last weekend and the upcoming weekend in the NFL. It's going to be pretty exciting. And I tell you, you know what? You guys were just downright rude to them Cowboys.
That's the only way to be. A lot of people were counting us out, so we had to show up and show why we're the better team.
And I totally understand and get that by the way you guys treated them. I tell you what, right now, for all fans out there that are in mourning and sad about the departure of the Dallas Cowboys, homegoing services for the Dallas Cowboys will be announced soon, so you just stand by for that. Anyway, Stu, you guys did a number on them, like I said. There's no doubt about that. That the final score really doesn't indicate how bad that the 49ers really stomped on the Cowboys. It could have been a lot worse, but there were some field goals that could have been touchdowns in that game. Jimmy G tried to give it away as well, but you guys were able to hang on. Now there was a lot of crying by the Cowboy fans, including Dak Prescott, about the officiating crew spoiling their opportunity to win the game. What are your thoughts on that?
You had 4 quarters. You had 60 minutes to do what you could do. We controlled the game. We controlled the line of scrimmage for most of the game. It should have been, like you said, it should have been way worse than what it was if Jimmy didn't throw that pick and he missed a wide open Brandon Ayuk for a touchdown. And, Trent Williams didn't get down for that play when we did the quarterback sneak, and that would have been game over right there. So in regards to that specific play, Dak said they practiced it over and over again. Well, everyone knows that you got to hand the referee the ball. Larry Fitzgerald was famous for when he would get down, he would grab the ball and run to the ref to hand him the ball so they could spot it. But in this case, the lineman tried to spot it and they tried to line up, and the ref was coming from behind them, so they kind of impeded his path to get to the ball. He had to kind of slice through, and that messed him up with that.
Yeah, it did. And we're going to talk more about Dallas later. I mean, they did enough crying for everybody to be done with that story, but we'll come back to them a little bit later. Tampa Bay over the Eagles 31-15. Not much of a contest.
Nah. Philly is left. Like I told a lot of Philly fans, I said, hey, man, no one really had y'all making the playoffs, so y'all exceeded expectations.
Right.
So just build on that for next year. So.
If you're a Philly fan, you got to feel good that you made it to postseason. And, I mean, the sky's the limit. I think that Eagles are a team that you got to watch out for next year. Now, and also today, the general manager of the Eagles and Coach Nick Sirianni committed to Jalen Hurts for the future. What do you think of that decision?
I like it. Jalen got them to the playoff, helped get them to the playoffs. Build on that. I'm pretty sure he'll be better next year. More playing time. He'll learn. He'll take everything he's learned from this season and, improve for next year. He'll build more chemistry with his receivers and, the play call and everything will get better. So I think they'll improve next year.
And then the I want to call them the St. Louis Rams. I don't know if they're in L.A., St. Louis, Anaheim. Anyway, the Los Angeles Rams, 34-11 over the Arizona Cardinals at SoFi Stadium. This was a real shocker. What'd you think of this one?
Not really. In my opinion, the Arizona hasn't been looking like Arizona the past couple of weeks. When you start playing bad football in December, it's not a good start going into the playoffs. They were on a downward spiral. They were missing their best offensive weapon, and their receiver in Hopkins, and they just weren't the same team without him.
No, they were not, and I didn't expect them to get blown out like this. Even without D-Hop, it was surprising to see the Cardinals just get rolled like they did by the Rams. And then on the other side of it, the Rams are showing what they're capable of. When they bring their A game, I think they can do this to just about anybody. So that was a pretty impressive win by the Rams. As we go to the AFC, the Bengals over the Raiders. What'd you think of that one? 26-19 Bengals.
That was a good game. It was a nice little battle for, quite some time, and then the Bengals took over. But, the Raiders, they fought hard, especially with all the things they had to deal with this season. I tip my hat off to Cincinnati. I think they're going to definitely make a little bit of noise. I got them winning at least one more game in the playoffs.
James Moore, you are 100% correct. Arizona is who we thought they were. There's no doubt about that. Buffalo destroys the Patriots 47-17. Didn't see this one coming either. What'd you think of that?
I saw it coming. I didn't see it quite in the fashion that they destroyed them. I don't think they had a bad snap the whole game. They just touchdown, nil, no punts, no field goals. That was phenomenal. But I did pick Buffalo to win. I thought that, New England didn't have enough to get the job done. Once Buffalo committed to stopping the run, we've seen that quarterback, Mac Jones, has struggled in the previous weeks. Once the run has been stopped, he's been throwing some picks, looking like a rookie. And, they got an old-fashioned beat down, and Buffalo showed why they are the better team.
They did. Buffalo definitely showed why they are the best team. James Moore says Buffalo is scary. I was wrong about KC walking to the Super Bowl. Yeah, James, I tell you, I don't know about a walk right now. Buffalo looks pretty scary. They're just not consistent. I want to see more of this from them because Josh Allen can go out there and wet the bed, and all of a sudden the Chiefs blow them out at Arrowhead. But you got to watch out for Buffalo. I mean, they show that they are a team that you're going to have to really watch out for. And I want to let everybody know out there that Doritos has a new brand of potato chip courtesy of the Dallas Cowboys. Get them today. It's called Nacho Year. Really tasty chips. But anyway, we're going to move on to the games that are. Actually, the Chiefs over the Steelers. And we weren't surprised about that, were we, Stu?
Nah, I pretty much called that. They had a great run. Nobody saw Pittsburgh making it into the playoffs. That was a great way to end Ben's career. He's a future Hall of Famer, two-time Super Bowl winning champion. And I tip my hat off to the Steelers for giving it an effort. But, no surprise there.
No surprise there. No surprise there. Want to check in on the Cowboys, just seeing if they still them boys. Just checking. But, man, I tell you, dude. And then, of course, I feel really bad for Bill Belichick. Like I said, I didn't feel like Buffalo would blow them out the way that they did. But, you look at this meme here. You got Bart Simpson. This guy here is actually tried to. What's that?
I said that's Homer.
Yeah, Homer Simpson, man. I tell you what, Bill went into the weeds and came out a Buck fan. So switching over to the NFC coming up over the weekend, we got some really, really good games coming up this weekend, Stu. Wild card weekend is over, and we kick it off. Actually, we kick it off in the AFC Divisional round. The Tennessee Titans versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Saturday afternoon at 4:30 on CBS. How you liking this one?
I'm going with Tennessee. They've been playing some great football. Joe Burrows has been balling out. I like them. I like the wide receiver Chase. I like the running game, Mixon. I like how the defense is playing. I just like how they're playing football right now. I think Tennessee has a great defense. I'm not 100% sure if they got their running back, but even if they do, he's not going to be 100%. He hasn't been playing in a while, so I'm not expecting anything, remarkable from him. So I'm going with Cincinnati.
Well, James Moore loves Cincinnati next year. But I'm going to say this about the Bengals. They looked pretty good against the Raiders. They came out sharp. Joe Burrow looked great. To go into Tennessee, because I understand Derrick Henry is going to be back, and win that game is going to be a tall order for Cincinnati. And we get to find out, quite frankly and honestly, Stu, where Joe Burrow is right now, because this is a game for a man to go in and win. And if he's really that upcoming dude, he'll win this ball game. And I think he's fully capable of doing it with Jamar Chase and some of the other weapons that they have. But this will be a real test.
I agree, most definitely. Tennessee has a very good defense, very physical at the line of scrimmage, so it's definitely going to be a test for Cincinnati. But I'm taking Cincinnati to go ahead and get that dub.
Yes, sir. And then on Sunday, we're looking at Buffalo, 11-6, going into Arrowhead Stadium to take on the 13-5 Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday at 6:30 p.m. on CBS. How you calling this one, Stu?
This is going to be a great matchup. I'm going to take Buffalo. I know Kansas City are favorites and all of that, but Buffalo showed me something. If Buffalo can play anything like they played last week, I think they have a chance to do it, and it starts with running the ball. We all know they have a great passing attack and stuff like that, but if they can get their running game up, which I think New England showed them, add the running game to it, because New England usually has a pretty good defense. With them running the ball and giving that nice balance and everything, I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills to upset the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, I almost don't even want to call it an upset if they win it. I mean, I think Buffalo should be hosting this at their crib. And they've just had some mistakes along the way. I mean, they're 11-6. This is a game that is going to be well worth watching. This might be, and there's so many good games this week, but this might be the game of the week with Josh Allen coming in hot versus Patrick Mahomes, the highly touted Kansas City Chiefs, and Patrick Mahomes at Arrowhead Stadium. So that's going to be 6:30 Sunday on CBS. You're not going to want to miss that one. And then later on that day, not later on, but in the NFC on Saturday, you've got your San Francisco, Stu, your San Francisco 49ers versus that dude, Green Bay Packers. And now Stu, now I know this is going to be difficult for either you or I to call this one. James Moore says, I think home field gives the Chiefs the edge. I would agree with you, James, 100%. I think when you look at this game right here, I didn't want to see the 49ers at Lambeau Field. I didn't want to see them. As much as I despise the Cowboys, okay, I would much rather have them knock you out than have to deal with that mean running game that the 49ers have. And here we go again, another hookup with the San Francisco 49ers. Thank goodness we get you guys at Lambeau Field, because usually we're going out there to Frisco. Give me your call.
You already know I'm going with the San Francisco 49ers. This is going to be a great matchup. Aaron Rodgers is the MVP. You know, they haven't announced it yet, but I'm pretty sure most likely he's going to be the MVP. You guys are having a storytell season, great season. You deserve to be the number one seed. You are the best team in the NFL. So we're going to have to come there and take your chain like Debo. We're going to have to conjure up our inner Debo, and we're going to have to take that double check discount up right off of Aaron Rodgers. You know, it's not going to be easy. We're going to have to establish the run. We're going to have to control the line of scrimmage. And I know you guys got a couple killers coming back, but we have a couple killers that you guys need to see when we played you earlier in the season. So it should be a great matchup. It definitely can go either way. It's just going to come down to, you know, who makes the least amount of mistakes. Hopefully Jimmy doesn't throw any picks. You know, who can control the line of scrimmage and not giving Aaron Rodgers the ball at the end with a chance to win the game, because that's what he does. So it's going to be a
Well,
great game.
that's not only what he does. That's how we won earlier in the season at Frisco. We had the rock last, and we got out of there with 3 seconds left on the clock for Mason Crosby to kick it through, and we were able to get out of that joint. And I was like, good riddance to the 49. I don't want to see y'all no more. And here you come. Again, we meet up. Again, we're at Lambeau. Now, James Moore says he loves his 49ers, a 49er fan like yourself. But he thinks Aaron Rodgers finally gets it done, and it hurts. And Jimmy is hurt. Let me say this, James. I have to say this as a Packer fan. I hope you're right, because here's the bottom line. This is the third shot that Green Bay has legitimately at getting to and perhaps winning a Super Bowl. There won't be any excuses this time if we can't get it done. We have to get it done this time, and it's just the bottom line. There's a ton of pressure on Aaron and Matt LaFleur and the Green Bay faithful to get it done. So I just think that this team, the 49ers, that running game, dude, Debo, Samuels, and I don't even know who all your running backs are. I just know you just run it down everybody's throat. And if Kyle Shanahan were smart, he would give us a heavy dose of that running game and give us a small dose of Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, he's hurt. I think he tore a ligament in his right thumb, so I wouldn't see any reason for Kyle to go out there and try to get, cute with his exotic passing plays. Hey, dude, you better run the ball. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if Jimmy goes out there and gives up that rock, we're going to make him pay. Did you hear what I just said, Stu? If he goes out there and gives up a pick or two, we will make him pay. And I'm trying to say it loud enough so Shanahan can hear it. But because he just thinks he's such a marvelous play caller. Dude, it's just like, you got a great running game. I don't want you to do it to me. But, I mean, that's something I know is what we don't do well. We don't handle the run very well, and you guys got a great running game.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Last time we met in the playoffs in that 2019 year, 2019-2020 season, I think Jimmy threw 8 passes. So you guys got a heavy dose of the run. I think he's definitely going to have to throw some more than that this time. I think this is a better Packers team that we're facing, and we are in Lambeau. Last time we played you guys, we were at home. We were the number 1 seed. So it's definitely going to come down to, and I think the weather may play a little bit of factor in it too. I'm hearing it's a 50% chance of snow. So I'm looking for, hopefully it does snow. It's going to be cold. We know that already. I think highs in the 20, lows in the like 1 degrees or something like that with a 50% chance of snow. So I'm hoping we get a little snow. That way it capped the passing attack down a little bit and just make it more of a running style game. But we'll see what happens.
Well, it's always that weather situation in Green Bay that makes all the difference. And, I always try to keep the Green Bay forecast on my phone. And we got right now for Saturday, it's going to be a 50% chance of rain with, let's see, a high of 22 degrees. That's warm for Green Bay.
Okay.
And so it's not going to be brutal. It's not going to be anything over the top cold. I mean, for California dreaming, yeah, that's freezing.
What are the
That's,
lows?
you see
It's
what I'm
like
saying?
a 8 o'clock game, so I'm worried about the high 22. That's usually during the day, but at nighttime when the temperatures usually probably drop. I think it's
Well,
gonna.
and you know what? As you speak of that, you're right. It's expected to be 6 degrees on Saturday night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's a 50% chance of snow, and a low of 6 expected on Saturday night in Green Bay. So yeah, it will be quite frigid. It will not be California dreaming at all, and they're gonna have to get ready for that. Again, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be San Francisco Green Bay Saturday night at 8:15. Green Bay coming in at 13-4. And the 49ers 11-7, 8:15 on Fox Saturday night at Lambeau Field, and then on Sunday we've got, this is another good one. Stu, this is another good one. The LA Rams at 13-5 taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 14-4, Sunday 3 p.m. Fox. What you got?
My heart is telling me the Rams because I want the Rams to win. Because if we beat you guys, I'd rather play the Rams.
Okay.
For the NFC Championship. But my brain is telling me I'm better against Brady. So
yeah,
I know they're banged up and they got all these things going on and right tackle missing and all these things. But I'm going with Brady at home.
And I think that's what the smart money says. I mean, I it's not like, because if you remember, and correct me if I'm wrong, you being an NFC West guy would know this, but I believe week 2 or 3, the Rams kind of walked all over the Buccaneers. Am I correct in that?
I don't think they walked over them. I think they got the dub, but it was,
I think it was like 34-24. They beat them like 10, 12 points, something like that.
Yeah.
And it was at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. This time they got to go out to the fun and the sun of Tampa Bay, and that Buck Stadium is going to be rocking. 14-4. The Bucks come in at 14-4. You got Tom Brady, and Matthew Stafford is going to have to show that he's ready for primetime. I mean, everybody gave the Super Bowl to the Rams the moment Matt Stafford signed on the bottom line with the Rams. They're going to the Super Bowl. Everybody proclaimed the Rams the champs. They got Von Miller. They got Odell Beckham. Okay, they got, Forrest Gump. They got everybody. No. And so now they're playing probably the best team in the NFL with Tom Brady. A lot of people say Green Bay. It's my team, and I'm not. Hey, I ain't going against him. But Tom Brady has 7 rings.
Yeah.
And I'm very concerned about the fact that this guy may do it again. He's a scary dude, Stu.
Most definitely. And, playoff time is different than regular season time. Last time they met, the Rams saw regular season time. This time is playoff time. It's a whole different ballgame.
It's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah. So we're going to really see what the Rams are made of.
We are, and Matt Stafford is squarely in the same position as one young Joe Burrow. This is the time to show that you're a man in this game. That right. you're meant to be elite. You were meant to be mentioned with the great ones. You belong in that great QB conversation. These 2 games right here, Joe Burrow for the Cincinnati Bengals, young gun. He's a young gun. I give him a pass. Hey, Stu, I give him a pass if he doesn't win the ball game. But this is an opportunity for Joe Burrow to show the world, hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here. Somebody go get me my Cuban. This is his chance. You see what I'm saying? But right. Now, for Matt Stafford, he's been in the league a while.
Right.
He's put up some big numbers over there playing for a pretty bad Detroit Lion team. And everybody said, it's poor Matt Stafford. Okay, now you're with the Rams. You come into this Billy, 13-5, riding high with all these weapons. Aaron Donald. I mean, man, I can go on and on. Mm-hmm. Matt Stafford, this is where you earn your money against this team. And not only that, I mean, heck, you got a lot of stuff teams to sift through. But if you can beat Tom Brady, I think it would go a long way in giving him the props that it's not a Super Bowl ring. You still got to win the Super Bowl. But if you can beat Tom Brady, and your buddy our good buddy James Moore says, Rams beat them down.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, look, I think this is going to be a heck of a game. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, it's a 3 p.m. Sunday game at Tampa Stadium on Fox, and this is going to be a heck of a ball game. 49er Green Bay game is going to be a heck of a ball game. Buffalo Bills, Kansas City Chiefs going to be a heck of a ball game. And to be totally honest with you, I feel like Tennessee and Cincinnati is going to be a heck of a ball game as well. Even though Derrick Henry does return, I would think of the 4 games, Tennessee would have an easier time of it as far as winning the ball game.
Right.
But Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, they're a problem.
Yeah. Most definitely.
They're a problem.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching the Maurice Brown Show Sports Edition with Antoine Real Stewart. In about 5 minutes or so, we're going to be joined by Aaron Moore to discuss some other unfolding news in the NFL, as well as a little bit of discussion about the Washington football team. But before we welcome Aaron onto the show, I wanted to touch on some other topics after Wild Card Weekend that I think are worth kind of taking a little look at, and that is and you know what, I want to get this daggone thing right. Cliff Kingsbury, okay.
Mm-hmm.
My question is Cliff Kingsbury's offense what he likes to call air raid? I mean, were they just overrated?
There's a lot of things going on with the offense. I mean, I wouldn't even just say offense, team. You know, the last couple of weeks, they were on a downward spiral when games matter. Like, you want to win games in December. You know, you're about to go into the playoffs. I didn't see the motivation in them. Even before the game, before the Rams game, they looked defeated. They came out looking defeated. They played defeated. I didn't see no energy there. They didn't even seem like they thought they could win. You know, I'm starting to question the leadership in that team. You know, is Kyler Murray really a good leader? Does Kingsbury have, you know, the control of the team, the locker room and everything? Are they buying in? Because it just seems like when things weren't going their way, they just seemed to just start losing and playing defeated. It wasn't a next man up mentality. So I'm starting to question the heart of the team, not just from a schematic standpoint. We know that he's from the Shanahan coaching tree, that he can draw up plays and they can put up numbers and stuff like that. But when it comes to that heart, when your best guy's down and this next man up, you know, they just couldn't get it done.
Well, you know, the thing about Cliff Kingsbury, and your man James Moore made a very good point. You know, they start fast and they fade. It's his reputation to start fast and fade, and that's kind of how their season went. I mean, Arizona started the season out 8-0, and then all of a sudden, I think DeAndre Hopkins pulled a ligament in his hamstring, pulled his hammy. And I think he missed the last 6 games of the year. But my thing is, are we going to put it on one guy? I think it's bad when you go, well, we were missing so-and-so, so that's why. That can't be your reason.
Right.
But Aaron, you take him off Green Bay and we ain't got nothing. Have you seen Jordan Love? Yeah. So that was the situation Arizona was in. They lost their main guy. It was really never about Kyler Murray, and I don't want to take anything away from Kyler. It was about DeAndre Hopkins. When he went out, they kind of lost the pizzazz in the air raid. And it's too bad. They had a great year, but I think it would be unfair to kind of trash Cliff Kingsbury. A lot of people are trashing Cliff Kingsbury. And look, the man had won 11, 12 games. I mean, my gosh, I don't think it would be fair to trash the man. But it was a disappointing way to kind of fade out. James Moore accurately stated they faded right out. They fizzled out. The Cardinals did. I mean, they went out in a most humiliating way. And then Kyler Murray gets back there, and he started to look like Carson Wentz a little bit. It's like, Kyler, what are you doing? And it was an ugly exit for the Cardinals.
You called it early in the season, Mo, when you were questioning Kyler Murray's leadership abilities, and you saw him, blaming AJ Green for certain things and stuff like that. Which that could be a show of leadership, by pointing things out, but. That just goes to show that who's the leader of the team. Those guys didn't have no dog in them. They didn't have no fight in them. They played like they didn't even care about who win. They didn't have any, when you watch the 49ers come out, you watch how we came out from the Dallas, even before we touched the field, just the energy with us dancing, coming out the tunnel. You could just feel that energy of confidence. And I just think that, they put all their hope in the one guy, and once he was out, their confidence was gone. And what kind of team is that? It's a team for a reason, next man up.
Well, yeah, I would totally agree with you. James Moore says Kyler is still young. I'd give him some time to get into that leadership role. I mean, look, James, he's young. The sky's the limit for Kyler Murray. I think he's going to be a great quarterback. I just think that, when you start challenging veterans and you're a young guy, there's something to be said for leadership, but not disrespect, and if you drop a pass, how often does AJ Green run a wrong pattern or drop a pass? I mean, the guy's an all-pro. He's been around a minute, and I just think that you got to have a little bit of respect for the older guys who've been around and have, carved a niche in the league. And, sometimes that can rub guys the wrong way, and they stop playing for you. It's like a young Kyler. Don't forget, you got some studs out here you're throwing that rock to, bruh. You know what I'm saying? So you might want to pump the brakes a little bit on all the jaw jacking, baby. Anyway, I'm just saying, Stu, sometimes that can rub a team the wrong way. And to go back to your point, it looked like they laid down. They didn't come out with any fire. They weren't like, chest bumping. They didn't have any life. No. And the question is, what's going on with the Cardinals? I mean, was that Cliff Kingsbury's fault? Was it Kyler Murray? I don't know. But that team did not come out there like they wanted to win that ball game from the rip.
But I'll say this, though.
Yeah.
Cliff Kingsbury definitely is at fault.
Okay.
I'm looking at the stats now. I just had to pull up the stats to see what happened. With Kyler Murray went 19. He completed 19 passes out of 34 for 137 yards and 2 picks, right? He played bad.
Okay. Yeah.
Their top rusher had 28 yards. So they don't run the ball. They just the air raid stuff. It doesn't work. You got to pack your running game. You got to have a balanced attack. The air raid stuff is cool, but when people start stopping it, then what? Even Green Bay, you guys got a great rushing attack.
Well, yeah. Well, what we learned, and ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the Maurice Brown Show Sports Edition with Antoine Real Stewart, and we are now being joined by former Bowie State tight end Aaron Moore. What's up, Aaron? What's going on, bro?
What's going on, fellas?
I'm glad you're here, buddy, because we're kind of debating on Cliff Kingsbury and the Arizona Cardinal offense, and the question is, was it overrated this year?
I wouldn't say it was overrated, but I would say there was a man down with Hopkins, and that was huge.
Yeah.
Overrated. I just believe overrated is going taking that a very far because they was successful early on. It was very successful early on.
Yeah.
I just think with the injuries and having Hopkins out. To me, that's the best receiver in the league, number one, and Dante Adams for the Green Bay Packers, number two. So And saying that regard, I just think that was a huge ask for asking the Cardinals to go in there and pull off, I believe, an upset against LA. But I don't think overall was it overrated all year. I think they had great success when they had Hopkins and you had Ertz and you had some of them other role players, you know, participating in the offense. So I just can't say it was overrated. I just think that the big number one player wasn't there and it hurt Kyler Murray.
And you mentioned something earlier, Stu, about the running game and some of the other teams establish it. You know, Leonard Fournette with the Bucks, A.J. Dillon with Green Bay, A.J. Dillon and Aaron. Oh my gosh, I can't think of my main man's last name. Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon in Green Bay, two-headed, monster running attack. Sony Michel really starting to shine as a running back for the Rams, and they're starting to go to him more often, taking some more pressure off of Matt Stafford. If you look at James Conner with the Arizona Cardinals, who's a fine running back, they don't go to him enough. And I'm looking at Cliff Kingsbury, and I'm like, yo, dude, you got a stud of a running back, and you're kind of ignoring him.
Yeah, that's coaching.
And that's coaching. That goes back to Cliff Kingsbury. It's like you have to have a balanced attack. You cannot just pass, in particularly in the NFL without being able to show some balance. I mean, the Buffalo Bills realized that about week 9 or 10. Yeah. If you don't establish some kind of running game here to help Josh Allen out, your season could go south. So we could talk forever and a day about the Cardinals. It's too bad that things ended the way that they did. They had a great year, okay? And Kyler Murray's only going to get better. He's a young quarterback who's got, a lot of years to just only get better. So James Moore says, Mr. Air Raid. Yes. Mr. Air Raid. That's right. So let's look at this one right here. Where do the Dallas Cowboys go from here? Okay. I mean, it was, man, I mean, I'm telling you guys right now, I mean, the Cowboys are they don't even know what they're going to do over there. Ladies and gentlemen, by the way, they got a new chip out. Dorito has a new brand called Nacho Year, the Dallas Cowboy brand. But anyway, look, here's my question. Is Dak Prescott overpaid?
You go first, Stu.
I would say no. They paid him market rate. I mean, that was the goal for a quarterback at that time. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
You get paid, and they're like, okay, we got this and that. I mean, he's their franchise guy. So he is a franchise quarterback. I think everyone here can agree to that. So he's their guy, and that's the going rate to a franchise quarterback. So it is what it is. I think that. So I would say, just to answer the question, I would say no, he's not overpaid.
Because he's okay. That's fair. James Moore said he is not elite. Aaron Moore, what say you, my friend?
It's a lot I could say on this subject. It's a lot.
Yes, sir, no doubt.
I'm gonna stay on the topic, but is he overpaid? I'm gonna say yes.
Okay.
Here's my reason why. If you look at the top quarterbacks in the NFL and how much they get paid, look at what my man from Buffalo did this past weekend.
Yeah, Josh Allen.
How much is Josh Allen getting paid?
Mm-hmm.
And look how much my man from Kansas City did this past weekend.
$40 million, man.
And look how much he's getting paid. Now, let's go back to Dak Prescott.
Okay.
My man Stewart brought up a good point. Market value.
Yeah.
Was that the market value price at that time because of what my man in Kansas City set the bar? Yes, it was.
Okay.
Was he worth that? No, he's not. He's not worth the money that they paid him, and he just proved it.
Yeah.
And he just proved it when they played the 49ers.
Yeah,
He's not working. But the Dallas was in a bind. They had to pay the man.
they had to.
They had to. You had no other quarterback in line, and the way the season he was coming off, he played well, but the season was coming off. You was kind of like in that gray area. Dallas wasn't Jared. He ain't had no choice. He had to pay the man. So he paid him. He gave us money. Look, you got Dak Prescott making over 100 million. You got Ezekiel Elliott, what was making 90 million,
Yeah,
and then you have your two outside receivers making big bucks.
I
And
think is Amari making 100 million.
if he's not making 100 million, I believe he is, but he's close to it.
Yeah,
He's one of the highest paid receivers in the league.
yeah,
All of them, all of them dropped the bucket. Every
yeah,
single one of them.
yeah,
And he
yeah.
paid. And Dak was the main one because, of course, he's the quarterback.
And I don't know how long we're going to make excuses for Dak Prescott because look, I'd love to see the brother. I'm not a Cowboy fan, but I would love to see him do well. I'd love to see the brother play well, and he did play well at the beginning of the year. Got hurt when he came back from that injury. He was never the same, and I want to say that he's been nursing an injury for the last half of the season, and just tried to man through it. He's not been complaining that I'm hurt. He's just trying to play through something. I don't know what happened to Dak, but he was playing at a very high level the first half of the year, up until he got injured.
He looked good against Washington. He looked good against. I mean, I'm just saying. He looked good against Philly.
Yeah,
He looked good against some of the late other. He looked good at what I heard Marcus Spears saying on ESPN the first take, saying Dallas was guaranteed to win the 49ers. Dak is back. All this
yeah,
nonsense.
yeah. A lot of nonsense there.
All this nonsense.
Yeah,
So the injury stuff, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it. There's no excuses. You're getting paid all this money. Either you show up or you're going to get ridiculed.
Now, James Moore says their talent shows in the division, but their coaching issues show against good teams. Great point, James
That's
Moore.
true because if you look, they 6 and what? They 6-10 or 6-9 or 6-8.
6-9, 6-9 outside the division.
Outside of the division.
Yeah.
So that proves the point where I was telling Stewart that Dallas was never battle tested. 49ers was battle tested. They played decent and great teams throughout the year.
Yeah.
So when you don't play nobody and then you play somebody who's been battle tested, it's going to show up in what you did.
Which it did, and again, it could have been worse. Like I said, they settled for field goals that could have been easily TDs, and they could have blown them right out of that fine, beautiful masterpiece stadium that they got them boys playing in over there. I think they're going to have a rodeo over there next weekend. Anyway, let me just say this as far as the Cowboys go, and getting back to James Moore's point about the talent shows in the division, but outside of it, the coaching issues begin to show up, which leads me to this question. Should Mike McCarthy be asked to come back?
No.
Oh,
Let him go.
okay.
Let him go. I think someone made a good point. I don't know if it was Stephen A. or someone I was watching, but they were like, what does Mike McCarthy do? Okay.
Yeah.
You guys got an offensive coordinator that you're raving about, that he's getting all these head coaching opportunities to interview for, right?
Yeah.
You got Dan Quinn as your defensive coordinator.
Yep.
So what is Mike McCarthy doing? He's not a great motivational guy. He got his fame for playing with Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
He won the Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. So, and then before that, was he with Brett Favre a little bit too?
Yeah.
So, what is he doing? What are they missing if they get rid of him? They get rid of Dan Quinn. You can argue what they're missing on the defensive side. Dan Quinn has a resume of being a great defensive-minded coach. If they get rid of their offensive coordinator, you can argue he was the spark that got them all these yards and all these things. They get rid of Mike McCarthy. What do you miss? Nothing.
Great point.
He's replaced.
I totally hear you on that. Aaron Moore, what say you on that, bro?
I'm gonna have to agree.
Okay.
And I'm gonna agree, and it's because you have supposedly one of the greatest rosters in the NFL.
Yeah.
You were supposedly to have a good team to at least make it to the NFC Championship game.
Uh-huh.
You were the highest penalty team in the league.
Yep.
It showed against San Francisco.
It did.
And that last play, somebody has to take accountable for that. And I'm talking about everything from the beginning of season, clock management issues, penalties, all the way to this point.
Yeah.
Somebody has to take responsibility. It's not going to be Dak because he's there. It's not going to be anybody on the offensive side. It has to be the head coach.
Yes, sir. 100%. And I'm gonna say this. You guys know me being a Pack guy. That's my dude, A-Rod, right there. Anyway, me being a Packer fan, I can say this. I really liked Mike McCarthy the entire time he was there with Brett and Aaron. And when Aaron said, yo, get this dude out of here, I can't play with him. And Green Bay fired him before the season ended. And I thought that was kind of a raw deal. Like, yo, man, let the guy finish the year. I mean, look what he's done. I mean, he's had a great tenure here. Yeah. You know, and so I didn't really like that too much, the way they handled it. But watching him in Dallas, now I see what Aaron was talking about.
Yeah.
And now I see that the guy doesn't motivate guys that well. He doesn't draw up these great game plans, you know. To your point that you mentioned a moment or two ago, Stu, about the fact that what has he really done there? You know, you got Kellen Moore. He's interviewing for other jobs. You got Dan Quinn. He's going to be interviewing for other jobs. These guys were pretty much pulling the strings for that team. And, you know, Big Mike was just sitting up there looking stoic, unemotional. You know, it's not a guy that you look at that makes you want to go out and say, yeah, let's go beat the doors down for this guy. He doesn't give off that kind of vibe, you know. But I didn't see it at first. Aaron said, hey, I cannot play for him. And now I see now I'm not going to blame it all on Mike McCarthy. I mean, these guys are getting paid a lot of money. You got to go out and execute. You're 12-5 going into this game. You got to take care of business here. I mean, and they didn't do it, so I can't put it all on Mike McCarthy, but he's got to take some of the blame. I mean, I think you guys both mentioned, I mean, you're the head coach. You're responsible for everything that goes on around here. You know, and the word is, you know, Jerry, you know, his son Steven calls all the shots for the boys over in Big D now. He says, oh, Mike's coming back. You know, don't worry. We're going to have him back. So I think that the Jones family, I think they're satisfied with Mike McCarthy. I think his job is probably safe over there, but I don't think he did a great coaching job. The Dallas Cowboys, on paper, have the best team in the NFL. On paper. There is no excuse for those guys not to at the very least, get to the NFC Championship, and they couldn't get it done. San Francisco went in there, and they said, I want you to put an SF logo over that star. Come here, get rid of the star and put an SF right there on the 50.
Let me say one more thing.
Okay, go ahead, Aaron.
I'm going to tell you this. Next year, because I remember they did say he was coming back for one more year. Every game, every call is going to be ridiculed.
Okay.
And if they start out slow, I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be a mid-season, especially if Dan Quinn is still defensive coordinator, if it be the mid-season change. Because they're going to have a first-place schedule next year, so they ain't going to have no cookie cake schedule.
Oh, no. You're right about that. You're right,
they're going to have
100%.
a first-place schedule. So they're going to be playing some top teams next year. And if they start out slow, this 2-4, 3-6, it's not going to be. I don't think he's going to last throughout the year.
I would agree with you. If they come out next year and start out 2-4, he's gone.
I tell you one thing: if they lose Dan Quinn, it's over. If I'm Jerry, I'm hiring Dan Quinn as the head coach.
I would agree with that. If anything has to happen, don't lose Dan Quinn.
Right.
So with that being said, the Cowboys situation, look, they finished 12-5. They got some stuff going on over there. It shouldn't be that hard for them to figure out how to fix this. Let's switch over to the Eagles real quick. Are the Eagles a team to watch out for next year?
I started. I think, yeah, man. They can build on what they did. They can build on what they did this year.
Yeah.
Playoffs. Nobody had them making the playoffs. They got a young team. They could take this and take it in the next year and build that confidence. Like, look what we did last year. Let's see if we can win a playoff game this year.
Right.
It's unfortunate that they got matched up with Tampa Bay. With the big dogs, so they knocked them out real quick, just like Dallas got matched up with us. But I think they'll be okay, man. If they can keep building and if Hurts can work on some things in the off season and better his game and really take it seriously and improve, I think that they can be better.
So James Moore says he's not sold on Jalen Hurts. What do you say, Aaron?
I think Jalen Hurts gonna have to take. We're gonna have to see if he could take that next step.
Yeah.
That next step to be a prominent quarterback in this league, because I think that's really the key to the Eagles.
Yeah.
I think they could get a little bit more, strong on that defense. I think they could upgrade the running back position, in my opinion. I like their receivers. They could get younger at tight end. I mean, some places they can improve on the roster, but I think the most important key is Jalen Hurts. If he can improve and take that next step. If he doesn't, then I don't think the Eagles go anywhere. But if he does, I think the Eagles can be a team that you have to watch out for.
Well, the Eagles general manager and head coach Nick Sirianni signed off on being committed to Jalen Hurts today, which I think is a good thing. I think that he's a good quarterback. He's certainly not elite, but he's a good QB. I think he played pretty well this year. He has some things he's got to work on. I mean, you don't want to get into you're down 31-15, you need 17 points, and you don't have the ability to do this Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady thing. That's a problem. And that's something Jalen Hurts can't do right now. You know what I mean? He's a great athlete. He can move around with the ball, and he can make some nice throws. But he cannot beat you with his arm yet. And so this summer, that's what he needs to work on, just reading defenses better and, getting that rock downfield. If he can add that to his game, I think Jalen Hurts can be a big-time ball player for you, But I like what I saw from him, even though they were handled pretty good against Tampa Bay. I think they're on the uptick, and if he gets better, if Jalen's game improves, I could see the Eagles being a problem. They've got a pretty good defense. They have a decent running game that they don't they kind of mix up pretty well. So we'll see what happens to them. It was a nice year for them. I want to finish up, Aaron, with your boys, the state of the Washington football team. And ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the Maurice Brown Show Sports Edition with Antoine Real Stewart. And this part of our show, we look at the state of the Washington football team with our main man, Aaron Moore, former tight end at Bowie State. Tell us a little bit about the current state of affairs with the football team. We know in about 3 weeks they're going to unveil a new name. What's the word on the street?
I think that's the big discussion in around Washington right now.
Yeah.
Of course, you got some names leaking, the Admirals. I heard about the Hogs, the Commanders.
Okay.
Pray it's not the Commanders, but
Okay.
these are some of the names that's swirling out there. The players, it seems like the players are like the new uniforms.
Yeah.
The players seem to like the name as well. So that's kind of encouraging. I don't know if they're just saying that just to be politically correct, but the, that's the number one. And of course, we need a quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's,
You,
that's
yeah.
number one position is in need for the Washington football team.
You know what? I would have to say that, and I hate saying this about Heineke because he soldiered through the year. I'll give him that. He soldiered through this season, but he showed that he is a backup quarterback, and so you guys had to make do with a backup. And when it came time to play those big games, the backup showed up, not the starter. And you didn't have a guy that you could depend on. As the season began to get late, I thought Kyle Allen would have been a better option than Heineke. Heineke is a Band-Aid. That's right, he's a Band-Aid.
Hold my man Heineke name. See, James Moore doesn't like Heineke. Me and him.
Oh, okay.
You hear him bash Heineke. This is his fifth season starting, or something like that.
Yeah.
This is the man's first year starting a full season.
Yeah.
He's basically like Jalen Hurts, even though Jalen Hurts, hasn't played as much or been in the league as much. But some people gotta play to get better. Like Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre and then they threw him in there and he was just like, a lot of people can't do that. They're like, man, I gotta play, man. Just depends on the type of learner you are. Some people I can actually touch it and get better that way. You can't just keep showing it to me. You gotta throw me in there. And not saying Heineke should be the starter. I think he's going to be in a position to compete for a starting position unless you guys are lucky enough to get a Russell Wilson or what's my boy name from Houston, Texas.
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson or Carr or something like that. You guys can get that then. We already know the starter. But, depending on who you can get, I think Heineke will compete. He might win the second string position, but I think he'll be able to compete for a starting position.
Yeah.
The problem is, here's the problem with bringing back Heineke as even a possibility to start. You got a new name, new uniforms, going into a new season where you need a face to fit the name, the uniforms, the team. You need a new face. You need a quarterback. You need somebody to say this is the guy that we're going to have to lead this football team. And it can't be Heineke. It has to be somebody outside of the organization right now. It has to be.
So this is the thing. I agree with what you just said, but the football team has done this over and over again. They try to sell the fan base on the dream. They try to get some quick fast food and pretend like it's Ruth Chris steak, and it's not. This is football. Things don't happen overnight. Teams don't just snap. Unless you, like I said, if you can get a Russell Wilson or one of those big three quarterbacks that might be available, then that's good. But if you can't, what's the alternative? You're either going to have to find somebody in the draft, or you're going to have to find a lower level tier quarterback to move on. And that's just the reality of the situation. If you can't land one of those big names,
even if we can't, I would get a David Carr.
That's the big name. That's part of the three. You got Carr, you got Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, and after that, who's available? Unless you want Jimmy GQ.
I would take Jimmy over Heineke. I would take Jimmy. I guarantee he gonna be an option for Ron Vera. I would take Jimmy right now over Heineke.
Without a doubt.
I would. And the way he's playing now, especially in the playoffs, and we have a running game. We have a heck of a running back.
Stick him on them gloves, my boy.
We have a receiver. We have a receiver. we could run the ball. If Jimmy looking wild out there, we could hand the ball off. you know, so we basically have. I'm not gonna say we have the running game of the San Fran 49ers, but we're not. I don't think we're too far off of having a running game like theirs. But we have the pieces where I think if we put Jimmy in, that we could be a playoff team.
Jimmy ain't much of an upgrade from Heineken.
I think. I mean, I think he is.
I'm he benefits from he benefits. I'm about to do it. He benefits from having the best offensive coordinators in the league, Kyle Shanahan, right? He's drawing up the plays, he's calling the plays. One of the best rushing attacks in the league. A top defense. We rush the passer, we play physical. All of these things he's benefiting from. You put him in and a great offensive line. You know, you put him in these situations, Jimmy will let you down. If you guys got a running back that's giving the ball away. You're gonna have two people that's giving the ball away. Your running back gonna be fumbling, Jimmy gonna be throwing picks. It's not a good look. I'm trying to tell you.
I'm not.
I'm guys can take them off our hands because we need some draft capital anyway. You know, we'll take like a second round pick for him. You know, you guys willing to do that.
But the thing is, Jimmy is better than anything that's in the draft. I mean, he's better than anything that's in the draft. And if you can't get one of these top quarterbacks, you got to get somebody. I will take him. I'd take him in a second.
I think it would be fair to say that when it counted this year, the biggest games down the stretch for the football team, who were squarely in the hunt for the playoffs, Heineke fell on his face. Mm-hmm. It wasn't that he just didn't show up. He fell flat on his face.
But it was some team loss. The defense didn't show up.
You're right.
Situation. You're like, why did you fumble there? Because we all know momentum is everything. If we're about to score or we're in a situation and the running back fumbles, that's big, right? And then the defense wasn't showing up. They had a stretch where after 99 went out, they were looking like the Washington defense that I was used to seeing from the previous years. But then the defense stopped showing up. They were fighting each other in the locker room, just looked like it was in disarray. And, you know, Heineke, he ain't Aaron Rodgers. He ain't going to just say Heineke got it. You know, he's going to definitely need a surrounding supporting cast, just like Jimmy did. He didn't have that.
So we will see what happens with the Washington football team going forward with their quarterback situation, and of course the new name again to be unveiled and announced on February the 2nd. Before we get out of here, let's look at some of the final picks for the weekend and just go around and see who you guys got, starting with Stu. Of course, we've already been over Green Bay, San Francisco. You got Frisco. I got Green Bay. Aaron, who you calling in this one?
This a tough pick, but I'm gonna have to go with Green Bay.
Okay.
Now, I won't be shocked if San Francisco win the game.
Would not be. No.
I would not be shocked at all. I think they have a. This is the team that Green Bay did not want to see.
This is who we didn't want to see them.
This is the team Green Bay
I didn't want to see them.
But I'm just looking at the two people behind center.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at, Aaron Rodgers, double check, and I'm looking at Jimmy.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to take Aaron Rodgers.
Okay. And moving on to the Sunday game at 3, the L.A. Rams and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Who you got in this one, Stu?
I'm going with Tampa.
You going with Tampa?
I think Brady is going to get it done. I'm trusting in Brady.
Aaron, what you got, buddy?
You know what? I'm going with the Rams.
Oh, okay.
I'm going with my man Sean McVay. I think that Brady is Brady.
Yeah.
You got Grunt, and you got the guy on the outside, Evans, I believe. Is it Evans?
Yeah, Mike Evans.
Mike Evans on the outside.
Yeah.
But I think when Antonio went out, when he ran off the field and waved goodbye,
yeah,
I think that was their chance to make it to the NFC Championship.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think is it going to be tough for the Rams to win this game? Yes, it is. But I just think they have more weapons. They're playing with confidence. They coming in as the underdog. Nobody's believing in them. They got Big 99 on that front line. And I think if they could get Brady just off tilted, offset, little uncomfortable, you know, I think they have a chance. And I think that front four is gonna put it on themselves to be like, let's get Brady out of this game and let's let's win this game with us up front. And
Yeah.
that's how I think that they're gonna win that game.
Yeah. It's going to be a heck of a matchup. There's no question about it. I mean, a heck of a ball game, one to watch. And in the AFC, we got the Tennessee Titans playing the Cincinnati Bengals on Saturday at 4:30 on CBS. Stu, who you picking in this one?
I got the Bengals. I think Joe Burrows and company is going to get it done.
All right, Aaron.
I'm going with the Bengals.
Okay. Whoa.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Joe, man. I like his confidence. I like his swag. I like how he throw the ball out there and play. And I do like the way that defense is playing. But I think the Bengals gonna pull it out.
I think Tennessee should win this game. I think that they're going to boss up with Big Derrick Henry and establish that running game, and then that's going to lighten it up for Tannehill to hit A.J. Brown and my man Julio Jones. And I think they're just going to be a little bit too powerful for Joe. I don't think Joe Burrow is going to give him a run, but I'm going to go with the Titans. I think this is a game that they will probably win and move on to the next round. And then we got Buffalo and Kansas City on Sunday at 6:30 on CBS. Who do you got in this one, Aaron?
I'm going with Kansas City.
Okay.
I like Buffalo's been playing well, but I just don't think they could put up enough points to what Kansas City could. I think that offense is too dynamic, and I think they're just gonna put up. I think they're gonna put up some points on the Buffalo. I just don't think that they're gonna be able to keep up with Kansas City offense.
And Stu, what you got, buddy?
I'm taking an upset. I got Buffalo. I like what I saw last week in Buffalo, and I think if they can run the ball, establish the run, and I know that their receivers and their playmakers going to make some plays. I think they got what it takes to get it done.
Well, you know what? Josh Allen's going to have to prove it to me, bro. I'm going with Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes at Arrowhead. I think they're going to win the ball game. I think Josh Allen has yet to prove that he's that dude. Everybody proclaims him as such every year. I ain't seen it yet. I mean, I've seen him play really, really well, and guess what else? I've seen him play really, really bad. And I'm like, yo. So I need to see him get it done against the Kansas City Chiefs before I start giving him a little bit more love. I'm going to go with the Chiefs at Arrowhead Stadium, and we'll see what happens. Let's see. We got more don't know, according to Jeffrey Gaddis. Okay, Jeff. So anyway, so we will see what happens. It's going to be fun. This whole weekend coming up is going to be a lot of fun to watch. There's no question about that. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been watching the Maurice Brown Show, Sports Edition with Antoine, Real, Stewart, and our good buddy Aaron Moore. If you have enjoyed watching this, like it and share it. And subscribe to the Maurice Brown Comedy Channel, as well as any social media engine that Aaron Moore and Antoine Real Stewart are a part of. Deuces, Jeff. Thanks for stopping by, brother.
You too, bro.
And if you and no doubt, and if you're coming in at the end, like apparently Jeff has, hey, you're like, I can't believe I missed the show. No, you didn't really miss the show, because tomorrow about midday, about 12 noon, you can see the whole thing on the Creative Motion Network on Roku TV. You can watch the whole daggone thing again. And before we get out of here, just to let you folks know that Doritos has a new chip out. It's called Nacho Year, starring Dak Prescott on the cover of the bag. You want to get out and get it today. They say that's a great chip. And also, okay, yes, Jeff, my man, the Creative Motion Network on Roku TV tomorrow about 12 noon. Yeah, absolutely. And so, Aaron, before we get out of here, also, you are a photographer. Tell fans out there how they can follow you.
Oh, yes. You can go to my Instagram at Aaron Moore Photography. You also go to my website, AaronMoorePhotography.com.
All right, sounds good. And also Antoine Real Stewart, sports enthusiast, who's always on the Maurice Brown Show. Tell the good fans out there how they can follow you on social media, Stu.
You can follow me at hold on, I just gotta put this in there real quick. If the 49ers win, you gotta have a Deebo Samuel's background next show.
You got it. I can do that. I can do that.
I'll put an Aaron Rodgers background next show.
Hey, that's fair. That's fair. I consider it done. If my boys go down, you're gonna see Deebo back here next week.
Cool. You can follow me on YouTube at Real Talk Convo. That's a new page me and Aaron Moore starting up. So follow me there.
All right. Awesome stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, check us out. We're going to try to be back next Monday, ladies and gentlemen, at 5 o'clock. But the times may vary as we get down towards the end of the year. A lot of different things going on. But we'll say tentatively scheduled next Monday at, we'll forget about 5, 8:30 p.m. Next Monday. We'll be back on the Maurice Brown Show. So until then, everybody stay safe. Stay away from that COVID-19. And Stu and Aaron, may the peace of Jesus Christ be with you and your families, brothers. God bless you.
God bless you.